Question of the day. Do you have water hyacinth in the bodies of water around you? Today, we're going to be looking at the water hyacinth, its origins as an invasive species, and then we will look at its impact on the ecosystem. And then we will talk about what you can do to help curb its impact. The plant is a free-floating plant that can get to be 1.5 to 3 feet tall. This fact and more awaits you inside the Natureverse, so come on in. Our species for today comes from South America, and it's native to the Amazon basin. So how did it get from the Amazon into the United States and beyond? How did it get here? Let's find out. Like so many other plants that we have looked at, it came to the U.S. as an ornamental. Big surprise there. Sometime around 1884, by the 1960s, the plant had managed to cover more than 120,000 acres in the state of Florida. The plants had managed to cover more than 120,000 acres of lakes and other waterways within the state of Florida. Once here, it entered the incredible world of pond plants and aquarium plants. But when people were done with it, they ditched it. In their nearest body of water, one thing led to another, and we have a problem on our hands. What does this plant do that others may not have done, or that our native plants don't do? Well, it reproduces like rabbits. They can double their population in just 2 weeks. In 3 months, 10 plants can quickly become a huge problem. They do this by sending out stolons, or vertical stems that develop new plants along them. Think of strawberry plants. They do the same thing. They also reproduce via seeds. These seeds are pretty much good for the long haul, and they can stay viable for up to 30 years. The problem isn't limited to just the United States. It can be found in Central America, where, by the way, it is not native, Africa, North America, India, other places in Asia, Australia, and even in New Zealand. And they can also grow from just a fragment, so don't think that chopping them up is going to save you in any way. Impact on the ecosystem. Why is this plant such a problem in the ecosystem? Well, it does an ecosystem dirty. Like we have seen with other introduced plants, these plants block out the sun. And they do it in a different way, but they still manage to keep the light from getting past them. See, water hyacinths float on the water, and they can be blocking the light that reduces the light needed for other plants and for the much smaller phytoplankton. There is also the problem of what happens when these plants die. And we've talked about this before with other aquatic invasives. When they die, bacteria and other decomposers break it down. But as they do so, they consume oxygen in the water, thus leaving none for the fish and other aquatic life. It may sound silly, but water hyacinths can also cause flooding by damming up rivers and canals. They also provide a great place for mosquitoes to breed. And aren't we all thankful for that? I think not. Give these plants an acre, and at the year's end, it will give you 500 tons of rotting plants at the bottom of your body of water. Doesn't that sound like fun? Keep in mind what we talked about with plants breaking down and using up oxygen. There you go. Control efforts. What can you do to keep this plant from expanding its range? You can pull it out of the water carefully. If you have them in your possession as a aquarium plant, don't just throw them into a waterway, compost them. If you go boating, make sure to properly clean, drain, and dry your boat. Don't do it on the water, do it on land. You want to keep any unwanted friends from being put into a new home. Don't forget to do your part. Don't worry, we will be looking at this plant as a species at a later date. In Florida, they have been able to clean out 2,000 acres of water hyacinth from their state. In Florida, you also cannot own this plant without a special permit. The real question is, did you learn something today? And now it's time for me to say, see you in the next one. Goodbye.